Good afternoon. My name is Paul Church from Clarity Craft here in the UK. Welcome to another episode of Clarity Social TV. And this afternoon, we're joined by the lovely Deborah Wheeler. Good
Hello,
afternoon.
hi everyone.
Hope everybody's well. We had a fun show this morning, didn't we?
Yep.
We overran a little bit, but it was worth it.
Actually, but
So if you missed our show at 10 o'clock, then you can go back onto our catch-up, which I'll explain about a little bit later on how you can do that. The lovely Gracie is in the room with you, all the way over in Brooklyn, New York. This
Hi,
time
Grace.
next week, she'll be here in the UK.
Here.
She'll be manning the tills.
And Bob will be on a chair 2 o'clock with a raffle.
She will indeed, yes. And the day will almost be over, day one.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, what am I talking about? It's one of the events of the Clarity calendar, which is our open days at Ditton. That's come really quick. We have one in June, and then last year we introduced one at Christmas in November. So we've got one in November as well. And then in between all of that, we've then got our summer retreats.
I know, so much going on. It's fantastic.
So, and this year we decided to have everything at Ditton. The parchment retreat, the summer retreats, the open days, because it's a lovely venue, free parking.
It's really good there. Yeah.
And it's all been refurbished recently. There's lovely lighting.
Okay.
We just need to make sure that they keep the heating off this time. Because last year, poor Bar was standing next to it, didn't realise the radiator was on. I'm thinking, why is it? I mean, it was a warm outside, but didn't realise until after 2 days that the radiators have been on all the time. So
I'm looking forward to it next week. I missed last year's because I schlepped off to Canada.
Holiday. Yes. So okay. So Gracie said that the sound is great. Thank you very much, Gracie. So if you've got any questions, Grace is there to help. She'll pop a link up to our show page that features all the products that Deborah's going to be sharing with us over this hour, and also from the 10 o'clock show as well.
Yeah, they're all in there.
Because when Deborah joins us once a month, what she likes to do is look at 2 different products.
Yeah.
So we'll focus on one type of product during the 10 o'clock show, and then we change it up, and then we look at something else at 2 o'clock. But it has the same sort of theme, doesn't it, today's show?
We try and keep
wings.
Them. Yes, yeah.
So this morning we had the lovely kaleidoscope of butterflies in stamps, dyes and groovy. And then this afternoon, we're going it's a bit like Clarity Classic, really, isn't it?
I guess, yes.
So we've got, we'll come to that with what we've got coming up on the show. If you haven't already looked at it, I know some of you have been buying ahead from this morning.
If folk are anything like me, you've already checked it all out already.
So let's go through a little bit of housekeeping. How can you order? Now, before I tell you how to order, what I want to share with you is, because it's the bank holiday, starting tomorrow, we decided at 6 o'clock last night to launch our double points over the bank holiday weekend. So any baskets after you've checked out that come to £50 or more, you will receive double points on your order. So you already get points for shopping here at Clarity if you've signed up to the loyalty point scheme, which is easy. There's a section on the website, you just click and automatic.
Yep.
Then this offer will run until midnight on Tuesday. And then probably Wednesday or Thursday, I will go through the process of adding the points to everybody that qualifies for that. And when we spoke about it earlier, I went and looked at the orders, and there was a few orders over £50, not mentioning no names.
Oh, yeah, look.
It was
me.
You.
All my orders, both my orders.
Both
I've had
your
2
orders.
in. I've got 2 orders in.
Because of the double points and the club discount as well. So because obviously you get your club discount, and then say if the basket is more than £50, then
what's not to like?
Exactly. And also something else to point out, that each month when we bring you new products, or maybe some, like we're doing today, we're revisiting some Clarity classics, really, or sort of some designs that maybe you may not be familiar with. We always do special prices. All of those prices will revert back to full price on the 1st of June. So anything that we've launched during the course of, the rub-ons, those lovely collage dies that we launched at the beginning, all of those will go back. So if you've sort of been sitting on the fence thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe worth taking advantage of that, because not only do you get that special price, but you're also going to get double points if your basket is more than £50. So now,
as many times as you order.
Yeah.
So multiple orders.
So she's
it's not
ordered
just
twice
one order. I've ordered
within
twice.
6 hours. Anyway,
Telling tales.
let me tell you how you can order. So there's two ways in which you can do that. You can either go to the, oh, it's not on the screen.
Oh.
Hang on.
Can I do the Strictly?
You can do the Strictly. Go on then.
Strictly bit. Oh, it's that way.
No, it's the opposite. We've had
Da-da-da-da.
piano. So you can order via claritycraft.com on our website, or you can give the office a call on 01732 868 215. Did you do the little number?
I did.
You did for the numbers as
Not
well.
paying attention.
I wasn't. I
I
was
went
looking
all
at
the
the
way
camera.
along.
Okay. Whether
Numbers
lovely
here.
Sue or Jazz or Pete will be there to take your call. Now, the offices are open from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. However, it is bank holiday, so we will be closed on bank holiday Monday, and that's why we decided to extend the bank holiday double points until midnight Tuesday.
Yeah.
So maybe you're watching this back over the weekend and think, oh, you want to ask some questions or you need to phone up to place your order, then you'll have the opportunity on Tuesday, and therefore you won't lose out on that offer.
Yep.
So that's right. So if I bring up some information on what it is we're looking at in this hour, so I'm going to bring up the full screen graphics. So this is really lovely. Item number at the top, which is 11036. That's the product code for this collection. This is the Butterfly and Bird Trees A5 square and A6 stamp and stencil collection. Now, the price on your screen normally would be £36.96. It has a £10 saving, bringing it down to £26.96. On top of that, if you're a club member, you will also get your discounts as well. And as I said, if your basket goes over £50, you'll get double points as well. Okay, so that's the main focus of this hour. I'll just show some details of what we looked at during 10 o'clock, in case some of our friends were out shopping or gardening. This lovely collection, there were some fantastic demos on this. Item number 11593, a kaleidoscope of large butterflies, A6 stamp, mask and die collection. £20 saving there, bringing it down to £51.95. So basically that die that you're looking at there is normally £24.99. So it means you're paying for the stamps and you pay £5 for the die.
It's good. And you can't see the masks on that graphic, but the masks cover up the butterfly stamps. So each of the stamps has got a mask, although the masks are all the same. So you get 4 masks with that,
absolutely.
With that set, which is really good.
If you prefer to go smaller, then we've got the small butterflies, item number 11594. Same configuration. You have a £10 saving on this, bringing it down to £34.95. However, if you just into your dies, then we have the dies, the large and the small, half price. Item number 31329, £20 saving, bringing that down to £19.98.
And the stamps are available individually.
They are indeed, all on the show page.
1 or 2 already. You can top up to build the whole collection.
Definitely. Yep, you can do that.
Yeah.
And then we then design the groovy plates, the same designs as the stamps, to work with the dies. Now, as you can see from this image on your screen now, they're beautiful butterflies. So you've got your 4 large ones and then your 4 smaller ones. These are A6 plates with a little spacer, so it fits perfectly within the plate mate from the starter kit. But they also work with the dies as well. So you can die cut your parchment, trace it out, and then create your 3D butterflies. So the price on that is £34.75. Now, I said we had a handful of these in stock. We've got less than a handful now because somebody standing very close to me decided that she needed one.
I only bought one.
Yeah, she only
make
bought
it sound
one.
like I went and bought half the stock.
Well,
actually, that probably was almost.
So this is item number 31557. It's £169 plus club discounts and double points on that as well. We also, Deb missed out on these when we launched these on Monday. This is our brand new Pergamano rub-on transfer sentiments bundle. Item number 70485. 5 for the price of 3. You've got that £8 saving, bringing it down to £29.95. And then we launched yesterday a brand new online workshop with Barbara. Now, the live show will take place on the 25th of June at 1 p.m. It says 1 till 5, but we know what Barb's like and what you're like. We've just overrun slightly. Now, this collection of dies that it's referring to, we launched at the beginning of, it was the first Sunday of May, and they were so popular. And many of our friends at home said, oh, this would be great to do one of your online workshops with it. So, as usual, we listen. Item number of this is 60224. It's £30. Okay. Now, there's no die included. It is just for the course. Okay. And when we talk about I'm going to just bring up the details to the side. So when we talk about the course is on a special platform. We call it our inner circle.
Yeah.
And when you purchase any of our online courses, we invite you into that classroom. Okay. So I know many of our friends have already done the various different, the groovy ones, the canvas board ones.
But it's a different link for each classroom,
absolutely,
isn't it? That gets you into the Circle app.
That's right. So, and then the way I look at it is like Clarity College.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got Clarity College. So if you've been joining in on the workshops from when they were first launched last year, you're walking down your corridor in your college, and you may have done the Viaduct Canvas workshop. So that's classroom number 1.
Yeah.
You've got the keys to that. You can go in there whenever, 24 hours a day, 7 days. Then maybe you did the Viaduct one, classroom next door.
Yeah.
You've now got the keys to that one. Then you may have decided to do the Groovy Foundation course. That's on this side of the corridor. So you've got the keys to that one. Then you may have just completed Barbara's 1, 2, 3 landscape and stamping course.
Or be halfway through it.
That's the third room on the right, along the corridor. Louise and I have just launched the white work groovy ones.
Oh yes,
so that's the second room on the left, and now this one will be the fourth room on the right. So it's like, but great. Once you buy them, you can go into that classroom again and again and again.
Yeah, it's really good.
So when you look at the value for that, for 5 hours, 4 hours plus more, we already do a filmed version, just in case of any technical issues on the day. And so once the live has happened, you get access to the filmed version, and you also get access to the live one as well. Afterwards.
So essentially, you've got 2 recordings to go back and look at.
Yeah, and often you'll do that. We will do the filmed one, and we cover what we need to cover. And then when we come to the live one, because there's a bit more interaction from our friends at home, our students, it can go off on a little tangent. So it may go down a different little road that is like an added bonus, isn't it? So, so I just thought I'd bring that to your attention there. You do get your double points on that if your basket's over £50 as well, because I know that was one of the questions that was asked earlier. So that's a little bit of background from this morning. I'm just going to bring that collection up. No, wrong one. There you go. So this is the main collection where it has the biggest saving. We also have, if you just like the butterfly tree and stamp set, you have a £3 saving there. Item number 11037. Maybe you're just into your birds. Then we have the bird tree set. Item number 11038. Maybe you're not into stencils and you're just into your stamps. Then we have both the butterfly tree and the bird tree stamp sets, and that has a £5 saving on that as well. Item number 11988. So should we have a look at some artwork?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, where should we go? Should we go birds or butterflies?
Why don't we start with birds then, Neil?
Birds, there we go. So if I give you a selection of artwork.
Thank you very much.
There we go.
Most
and then we're going to go to make sure we're on the right camera. And there we go. We're going to zoom in on this one.
This is lovely. This is, I think, this is on watercolor card.
Oh.
And it's an inky mop-up. Well, that's what I call it anyway.
Yeah.
But I love that. Looks like the Aurora Borealis. behind the tree, doesn't
behind it, yeah.
And then the tree stamped on along with Barb's favourite Flyaway Boy. Because who made this one? Oh, Linda Spencer. The way Linda's lined it up, the birds are all flying in together.
Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it?
It's lovely. And then that's from the ribbons, Bijou Ribbons sentiments, one of the supplementary sentiments. Yeah.
Really nice.
Like that very much. Colourful. This one from, this is Linda again, but using one of the aperture stencils.
It's like a woodland aperture stencil, I think.
Yeah, but with the tree then pushed into the background. And this would be great to do. These were done before they were available, but it'd be brilliant to use the landscape.
The 6x6.
Yeah,
masks.
6x6 masks. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Nice.
That's a good one. One of Dee's here.
Oh, I like that.
I know. How to work out.
It's a pre-printed paper, isn't
print.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. Printed paper. And we've got lots of those now.
We have indeed, yes.
And again, Dee's combined the Flyaway Boy with the tree. But he's embossed with a sparkle. Let me see if I can catch that on the.
Oh yeah.
Hang on,
and I reckon that's a stencil in the background, isn't it?
I think it is. That's off the matching stencil with the teal coloured birds. Definitely magical.
Nice.
And how about this one? A Jane Telford special.
Ooh.
So that, I think, is using the same stencil as that one Linda had used. No previous one.
There we go.
It is.
Yeah.
Actually, Jane's reversed it. If you look here, the branches are coming in from the right on Linda's. They're coming in from the left on Jane's. She just
because
split
you
the
can
stencil
with
over.
the stencil, it's
She's
like
a great
two sides,
thing.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And then created this wonderful background and stamped onto it.
Nice.
Definitely great outdoors.
Excuse me.
And then Linda Spencer again. She was busy.
She was.
Trying to work out how she's done this background.
That
frame.
background is one of the mixed impression stamps.
It is. Do you know, I was looking at it thinking, well, it can't be one of the new Leafy Bough papers.
No.
And there's one that looks like that in that set.
There is. Yeah, it's one of the mixed impression backdrop.
But I love the monochrome with just the one tone with the orange against the black. So
lovely,
effective,
isn't it? Yeah.
So effective. And another Jane Telford.
That's nice.
It's lovely masks. These are the mountains and hills masks, I think. And then some of the build-a-scene little flowers with it as well.
Work well,
and stamped into the tree as well, which just gives that other effect. I suspect Jane's done that on the stamp. So inked the stamp and then stamped
pulled
the flowers to lift the ink off to get that in. That is really clever.
This is probably one of the artist cards I will ever have done. This is my
Church.
So this was a gel press print.
Okay, I thought you must have painted.
No, it's a gel press print.
That's fantastic.
Back in the day.
I love that background.
And then I just took a charcoal pencil and just introduced the lines.
The lines. That's so effective.
That's really old, that one.
So effective.
Wow. Okay. So that's some of the artwork from the Flyaway birds. Then let's have a look at bird tree. Flyaway birds? They fly away, don't they? Yeah. So this is the butterfly tree.
I think this is a Barbara special.
I think this is a Barbara.
Just pull out slightly on that. I think this is a Barbara demo.
I reckon that is.
To be open, it's a temp folder as well. I think that's Barb's. There's no name on the back, but that is a wonderful background.
That's lovely, isn't it?
You know, having created it with those fabulous colours and a moon mask, then just stamp the tree in. So they're fantastic, great with the landscapes.
Yes, yeah, and we've got the quote stamps on there as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to use some of those with them as well.
So that's using one of the stamps.
And then Sam Crow, positively muted.
I was going to say for Sam, that's very subdued.
But she's used texture paste.
With the stencil.
Through the stencil and then put ink onto it. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
But that's lovely. I love those tones. That's really good. Here we go. Elaine has stamped onto watercolour card.
That's nice. Is that you got a nice sort of blend of the colours on the butterflies, haven't you?
Yeah.
Similar to what you was doing with the butterflies this morning, where you sort of was mixing the colours to create that lovely blend.
Create them on. But it looks like she's spritzed it because some of the edges are very soft on it. So a bit of water and then it's soaked into the watercolor card. That's lovely.
That's nice.
Look, this is a great idea with a frame. You know, I've got loads of offcuts of paper, but if you've just got a small bit that's
zoom in a little bit,
not big enough to do a whole frame, look at that just as an accent.
It's like a drop shadow type effect, isn't it?
That's really clever. I haven't thought of doing that. That's one for my list.
There we go. We're always learning.
It's always worth coming. I always learn stuff when I'm here. Who have we got here? Oh, Sarah Brennan one.
That's nice. So that's like an inky, spritzy background.
It is. I'm trying to think what butterfly she's used on there. Has she done that through the stencil, I wonder?
I reckon.
Yeah, that's the stencil.
Yeah, I reckon the stencil.
It's the butterflies
and then
from
she's
the stencil.
sponged into
it.
To make it
lightly,
solid.
And then stamped over this. But she's also gone over parts of the tree. You can see where it's darker and lighter.
Yeah.
So that looks like it's shaded with pen. Just to put different highlight accents. That's really effective.
That's clever, yeah.
That's really cool. I like that very much.
I reckon this is a barb.
This could be a barb, isn't it?
I reckon this is definitely a barb. So this is using the stamp, so she's doodled a frame. I reckon it's a circular stencil.
Probably. Well, she certainly used the dotty stencil.
Yeah.
And then she's doodled. And then added the colour.
Yeah.
Probably with a pencil. But then stamped that.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I like the colours on that one.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shows what you can do with just one tone.
Oh, yeah.
This is another Jane Telford. That's alcohol.
Yeah.
Ink background.
That's
But
nice.
again, just making interesting backgrounds, and then the tree and the butterflies do the work.
And you know, looking at this piece of artwork here, our 5x7 petite card toppers would give you similar backgrounds instantly.
They would.
I mean, Jane's introduced the heels using a mask and a black archival. I'm guessing it would be a black archival ink pad, just to add a little bit more contour to it as well. But our lovely, I'm just going to grab,
because there are some lovely landscapey sort of scenes in there, aren't there?
I reckon, let me zoom out a bit now. I reckon Shenandoah 5x7 petite card topper, item number 30557. But when you look at these, look
at that one.
They're just crying out.
Yeah.
I mean, do it that way. You can introduce your landscape. I like that. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
So the stamps just stamped onto here.
I mean, even this one. When I say even, this is one of the ones that I sometimes struggle with a bit more, but actually with that light shining there, stamp the tree down here, and then you've got the butterflies heading off up into the light.
And then this is one of my favorite ones.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic, that one.
Focus. Yeah. So you could put the tree here in the foreground, and it's flying off into the distance. So it's definitely worth having a look at some of our petite card toppers, but this particular one I think would work really well with this collection of stamps and stencils. So the item number for that is 30555. Okay, that was the last of the artwork. So when Deb joins us, and also I'm disappearing off the side of the screen, when we bring you Clarity Social TV, we obviously like to share demos with you. And on our Catch Up and Craft section on the website, we make these demos available for you to download. So we did 3 demos in the 10 o'clock show, which are all available for you to go back and have a look at. And then we've got 3 demos that we're going to do during the course of this hour. So if we have a look on the first one, so what you can see is you've got the time and the date of the TV show, what the project was called, what was made, and then underneath you've got a full list of ingredients that Deborah has used to create this card.
Yeah, with the product codes as well, so you can find them easily.
Yeah.
But these are links, aren't they, on the project sheet? So you can just click on that and go straight through.
You can. So if you keep it on your computer and you click that, they're what we call an interactive link. It will take you straight to the product. If you print them off and keep them in a folder, then you've got your item number, which is your 5-digit code, just at the end, so that you can always refer back to it.
And these all go on my blog as well as step-by-steps.
Yeah, which is
deborahscraftyblog.com.
There we go.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do during the first demo. Should we have a sneaky peek of what's coming up?
Sneak peek.
Just in case. We will get to it.
That's the second demo, which is with the bird tree stencil.
Right.
Just bringing some colour in.
That's nice.
And then this one just with a blended panel.
Oh, I like that as
using
well.
the tree. I'll explain the birds when we get there.
Okay. Right. Okay. Tips and tricks. So where are we going to start?
Okay, let's start with the little
Live
cat.
this life.
Live this life.
Okay.
And the little cat. Okay. Let's just have another look at the card, and I'll talk through where I'm going.
So we're going to zoom in a little.
And I'm going to get it in screen, in shot.
I'm going to move this low tack tape. There we go.
Thank you.
You know.
My marker tape.
Stay there. This is my line. That's your line.
Couple of things about this. So I've just I did it this morning with one of the butterfly ones, but using the stamp as a ink palette, so blending ink onto the stamp. But I've blended 3 onto this one.
Okay.
It's quite a light coloured one, so sometimes it fades out a bit on the screen.
Let me see if I can come in. I'm going to come in super close.
And then I've popped clouds in the sky behind, but just kept it as a simple outdoor scene.
Yeah.
And a little cat for my lovely little Tom, who we parted company with 2 weeks ago. Bless. I know.
Always hard.
It is.
How old?
He was only 9, but he had a degenerative neurological condition, so was getting more and more disabled. But the house is very quiet without him falling down the stairs. He was a very determined little soul.
Goodness.
Loved being on my son's bed. My son was his favourite human, and would haul himself up the stairs when we weren't looking, but would overbalance halfway up the stairs, and then you'd suddenly hear thump, 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 thump. And then you'd find him at the bottom of the stairs, kind of going, well, I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm supposed to be up there.
Characters.
Absolute character. Absolute character. Okay, back to this. Let's start with the my stamp.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is a piece of card that you've trimmed down to 4 1/4 inches.
4 1/4 inches. So it's out of the 8.5 by 11 stencil card. I've got a 5 by 5 mega mount, so I'm just going to line that up on the card roughly. Then I can go back. I've got in the habit of doing this with everything now, regardless of whether I need to accurately place it or not. I mean, it wouldn't matter if I was over a bit. None of it's the end of the world, but once you start doing it, then it just becomes habit.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 3 inks here. These are all oxides because that's what I've got the most of. It's like it. Hang on, wrong way.
Wrong way.
Okay, so I've got Rustic Wilderness, Evergreen Bough, and Bundled Sage. But you could use any 3 greens that you've got, and you could use Distress inks for this as well, or any water-based ink. Frankly, I've got my my rainbow of sponges.
Super.
I do treat myself to new ones occasionally. So, but these last.
They do.
Do you know? They're not use once and chuck away.
No, absolutely.
They'll last you over quite a number of uses.
So you get 16 in a pack. If you want 1 pack, the item number for that is 30537. Or we do a multi-pack of 4, which gives you 64 spot-on sponges. Item number 31215.
Basically, what I'm trying to do with using these colours and going to lighter shades is make it look the birds are heading off into the distance.
Yeah.
So you get a bit of perspective with it. So we'll start with the darker Rustic Wilderness. We'll go to the Evergreen Bough.
Has it got warm in here, or is it me?
It's warmed up a bit.
They're saying as if there's like a thermostat in this room.
You're having a moment, Paul.
Yeah, I'm having a tropical moment. There's like a thermostat that all of a sudden the heat, as if someone's put the
it suddenly gets warm,
underneath.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
When I'm blending on a stamp with my sponge, I always go slightly over where I've got to. I'm not trying to, because you want to do what you say you're doing, which is blend the colours.
Yeah.
And then I'll put the Bundled Sage up on the outermost birds.
Yeah.
This probably won't show up quite so well on the stamp as I'm inking it because it's a pale green, but it's just nice. Gosh, it has got warm in here. Positively subtropical. Okay. Right, we're good at that. You can spritz it with water if you want a bit more of a grungy look. I'm just going to go straight down. Pray to the gods of stamping.
It's only live TV, nothing to worry about.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We'll just edit it out.
Of course we can, yeah.
Right. I always press longer when I'm on.
Of course you
when
do.
I'm
yeah,
live than I would do at home.
Yeah, absolutely.
If everybody's sat there thinking, "Come on, Deborah, get on again."
I mean, a lot of the samples we looked at, most of them were in black ink, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because you automatically think a large stamp like that, it's lovely as a silhouette. I'm going to zoom in on that one. Focus. There we go.
No, yeah.
But to do this soft color palette gives it a completely different look.
And look, I've got a bit where I didn't ink it up so well there.
That's the tree, isn't it?
But it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world.
No.
Because it's just part of that soft effect.
Yeah.
Bob says.
I wouldn't have even noticed that there was a bit missing.
Get over it, you can't go over it.
Get over it, yeah. Get over it, don't go over it.
That's it.
Yeah.
I knew it was something like that. Okay. Right, tree's done. It's floating, it's levitating at the moment. So let's just stick some ground in.
What are you after?
I need a bit of scrap paper.
Bit of scrap paper.
Please, if you would be so kind.
I can be your assistant. Ooh, there we go.
Thank you. Let's just tear this down. It's a bit big like that. Old school clarity. We said it was back to old school. I'm going to tear copy paper. We used to do this for hills and ground all the time, didn't we, before we had the luxury of masks.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's shocking.
We won't watch Deborah tearing a piece of paper.
The great thing, actually, about tearing an edge on the paper is it's not a solid edge like the cut edge.
With a girty, yeah.
Or the
edge of
the actual edge of the paper.
Yeah.
I've got a slightly roughened thing, so it looks more natural.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say in a very inarticulate
got a rough
way.
Bottom.
You speak for yourself. Okay, with my sponge. So I've lined it up. I can just see the base of the tree there.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I've covered up above the mask.
Okay.
And then I'm going to start on the paper, but I'm just going to sweep across it. Oh, sorry, you can't see because of my hand.
Try it's only a little bit, is it? There
yeah, it's only a little bit. Sweep across it. Which way do I need to go to get more in shot?
Me, I think. No,
that way. That way.
That way. There we go.
There we go. So I'm
just right a bit.
Oh, look, now I've moved it. Essentially, let me demo it on here and then we can look at the card.
Okay.
But I'm starting up on the...
Do you want to go to the other camera?
Yeah, go to the other camera. There we go, cool. Starting up on the paper. Everybody's probably rolling their eyes because they know this. And then just wiping down off the paper, but along.
Yeah. And
you don't need a lot and you get a nice ground line.
Okay.
Right, okay, that's enough of that then. Right, we'll lose that. Okay. And I'll turn this over and then we can see where we are. Right, now my tree's sitting on the ground.
Yes.
It's really simple technique, but it just makes such a difference.
It's those little bits like that can make a difference, as you say, rather than it sort of floating off the card.
Yeah. Yep. Right, let's pop some sky in. It all looks a bit flat.
Yeah.
At the moment. So my favourite clouds mask.
Okay, so we've got the clouds on their page. You can buy it individually, but there's also a lovely landscape collection,
it's in the pack, isn't it?
where you can get those. It's in the Scenescape with mini masks. The item number for that is 30150. And in there, you've got the clouds, you've got the mini moons, the full moons, you've got the hills and the mountains, you've got the castle, and you've also got the rooftop.
I'm using a very light blue tumbled glass.
Yeah.
Just to keep it really light and keep the sky in the background. Mm-hmm. And obviously I'm not going to be able to mask the tree and the birds.
No.
But it doesn't matter. All I need to do is just make sure I'm not brushing right through the middle of the birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. What and you don't want, I tend not to use it and just go straight across the page on the mask. I do bits of it.
Yes.
And then keep moving. And that way you get more of a 3D effect in the background. Start on the mask and I brush up.
Using our lovely stencil brushes.
I am.
The item number for those is 30006 £24.99 plus the relevant club discounts. And these masks are reusable again and again.
You have to be careful with them because where you've got bits that come down like this, and I've caught mine a little bit, if you pull it really hard,
then it's going to go to that weak point, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to go shopping for a third time, Debs, to get some more masks. Double points, don't forget, if your basket's over £50.
Let's sit that there and just pop a bit in here.
I'll carry it to the car for you.
You're a good man. Nice to know your friends are, isn't it? Okay, let's come in around these birds here. So do you see
it's very subtle.
I'm not really putting much more ink on the brush.
No.
I just want a hint of a sky in the background. Let's pop that bit there. And I'm kind of trying to use the clouds mask to mask off the main bits of the
tree as well.
The tree, so I don't go through the middle of it. Let's have a bit more around these birds here. And I don't want it lined up, so I don't want it coming
down. That look very odd.
So you get stripy clouds.
Yeah.
I might treat myself to a bit more ink for this bit. You live life on the edge, eh?
Yeah.
But it's just about keeping it subtle and light.
I think these
it.
cloud masks were a real game changer, rather than having to try and cut out of a piece of paper, which is what was done back in the day, wasn't it?
And Bob did that the other day, didn't she?
Yeah. I think did it in the online course? I think it was. It was
on the online course.
Yeah.
I'm gonna admit something here.
Okay.
I'll just reach straight for this mask when she was cutting them out of the paper.
If people have them at home, no, absolutely. It's options, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we know that we have many new friends joining us. So it shows options. You can either take a piece of paper like Barb did, or if you've got the mask, then you can use that. So I'm going to come in close so we can see this, because it's very, very soft and subtle. So,
but it just stops your card looking flat.
I'll just bring that over.
Apologies.
To your side. What's that sliding? There we go.
Here we go.
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, so you can just see it behind the tree.
It looks on the way that you've done that one on there. It looks as if it's like the moon coming through, doesn't it?
Yeah, and some of them are darker than others, and that's fine because that's what a sky looks like.
Absolutely.
It's not all about. But I like using very pale colours to do this rather than the heavier blues.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay.
Let's zoom out on that one.
That's cool. Right then, we're going to have a little cat in here for Tom.
Oh, so that's from the
these are the miniatures,
collection.
Cats and dogs.
So the item number for those, where are they? Item number 11615, £10.99. It's an A6 stamp set plus your club discount. And don't forget, double points if your basket's over £50 up until midnight on Tuesday.
I'm using one of the smallest of the handled mounts. I haven't tried these with stamp pens actually.
Stamp pens.
I don't know
stamp pen. Well, I saw. Do you want to try a stamp pen in one of our lovely tool holders? Let me. Stamp pens.
Stamp pens.
Tool holder.
Yeah.
Both thought up by Mr. Dave.
They're brilliant.
So the stamp pens, they're available individually.
A rectangle one. I don't know.
They're available individually, sets of 4 or a set of 12.
Not quite big enough as tails. Over
what about
edge.
the squares? The square, I know it sounds weird. Just.
Bingo.
There we go.
Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so I'm using Shadow Grey Archival, which is a lovely light one. Because I don't want a
solid black cat in
dirty great black cat in there. Yeah.
Great black cat.
And I couldn't do Tommy. He was tabby and white. I can't manage that with a stamp. Good as I am. Right, let's just stamp this down and check. I do sometimes like give it a little wiggle round.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, lovely.
That's nice.
That's come up nice.
Yes.
I just think he's sitting in the garden looking very contemplative as all the birds are
watching those birds fly. That's probably why they're flying away.
I expect so.
Because the cat's sitting there.
Let's pop him on there. So yeah, I hold the pressure down on the centre, but just give it a little wiggle.
Yeah.
Like almost circle through the pressure to make sure that you catch the edges. There we go.
Let's come in. I'm going to come in close. The detail on that.
I love these. They're so expressive.
Yeah. Consider it's just a silhouette.
I know.
It's amazing what it can convey, isn't it? So I'll take that stamp pen.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, there we go.
I was just chucking it out of the way. All right. Oh, I don't know.
You'll be using the stamp pens at our open day, won't you?
I will, because I've got the Build a Wreath stamps. Yeah.
Can I just? I'll let you finish that, and then
All
we'll
right.
give some information.
So I'm just stuck a quote on here.
Yeah.
This is the set 3 from the quotes.
Our happy place.
But I loved this one, Live This Life.
That's
which
nice.
kind of sounded like, you know, the cat's in the garden watching the birds. The birds are off doing their thing.
Very nice. Now I wonder, with our rub-ons.
Oh yeah.
They would work very nice on here. That little gold. I'm just having a look at some of the I think the friendship one's really nice. It's got some fantastic sentiments. I'm going to bring the details up on the screen or for these. Let me just on there. So you get them in, you get an A5 sheet in black, gold and white. And you've got Christmas collection, you've got anniversary and weddings, you've got all occasions.
I spotted the one.
Birthdays, and also the friendship one. Do you need a pair of scissors?
Yeah, I've just grabbed
your scissors there.
Let me just line this up.
But I think these are lovely as well. And we only launched these on Monday because they literally arrived into the warehouse about 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And then I was playing with them on Monday before we did the show, and I couldn't stop. I really could not stop.
Kind of addictive. Well, I had one go before this morning's show, didn't I? And then what down here? I'm getting in a mess, Paul.
Okay, let me sort that out for you.
Let me give you that.
While you do your rubbing
I found this one. Look, let's put the world to rights.
Oh, that's nice.
Which I think will be perfect for here, and just pop it up in that top corner.
Yeah, I'm going to zoom in now. Now they do come with a lolly stick. So they come with a lovely wooden stick for you to use. However, we found that by using the Pergamano hockey stick, it was easier. I found it easier anyway. Because what we've done is we've cut the sentiment off of the sheet. And obviously it's got edges to it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And I found that when I was using the lolly stick, it does the job fantastically, but I had to be a little bit more careful. I was getting carried away and it was going off the edge of the carrier sheet and catching.
Okay.
Although it's only a little bit of plastic.
Yeah.
Whereas the hockey stick, really, it's got a larger surface area for the rubbing.
It's nicer to hold than a lollipop stick.
Yeah.
But I find you can get more pressure down through it.
Yes.
And
it's just literally going around in a circular motion.
Keeping it circular and kind of focusing in on the words.
And you'll notice that Deb's introduced the black mat, the A4 black mat.
Hard side.
Yeah, so you're working on the hard side of a black mat. And the reason I would suggest going for the black or using a black mat is because when I was doing it on my desk, it worked, but it required a little bit more work, if that made sense.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're using the dual purpose double-sided mat, because it's got that little bit of give underneath, I found it was so much easier to do.
So having gone right over it, I'm just going to ease this plastic off gently. So just so I can see if any's lifting off on this top sheet, then I can just go drop it back down again and make sure it's down. But I seem to have got it.
Yeah, because you don't want to whip it off and then realise that you've
still got a bit
of W or something like that.
That's lovely.
I'm going to come in super close on that.
Let me just. I'm just going to turn it over and give it a
rub on the back.
Rub on the back just to make sure it's properly down.
Yeah. Yeah, don't rub on the front, because if there's a little bit loose,
you'll fetch it off with your finger.
You'll fetch it off. Look at that. That looks as if it's printed.
It does, doesn't it? And it feels like it's printed.
Yeah.
There's no
you can't see any
you can't see an edge of a sticker.
No.
It's not raised like a peel off.
No.
It's lovely. It really does look like it's just printed straight on the card.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
That's really nice. So details for those are on the screen. Item number 70485. Basically, it's 5 for the price of 4. Got that £8 saving, bringing it down to £29.95.
So if we look at my sample one, just to finish.
Yeah.
I've got, you've always
your scraps.
My scraps. Because I do tend to cut squares rather than cut in the middle of the companion paper like Barb does. So I've got quite a few narrow strips, etc. But actually, they're still useful for framing. Because this is just a strip. This is just the width it happened to be. But put it over part of your card front and then drop your topper on it.
Yeah.
And it just, particularly with the green, it offsets the tree.
Absolutely. Yeah. It brings the green out more, doesn't it, of the tree?
It does. And I ran a black Sharpie around the edge.
Nice.
On this one.
That's
literally
so
just go down the edge.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, you've got that lovely the bird tree stamp set. You could do that with the butterfly tree as well. They are slightly different in size.
Yeah, the butterfly tree is slightly bigger, isn't it?
Yes. If we bring the printout on those, we'll bring the printout on those just to show us a size comparison, so to speak. So this is the bird tree that Deborah's just used. So it is available individually, item number 10481. And then you've got the butterfly tree on the other one.
Actually, I'm not sure the tree is that much bigger. It's kind of a bit more of a rectangular. But actually, if you look at the size, the overall size of the image, it's not a massive difference. It looks bigger because you've got the additional butterflies in the butterfly tree set.
Yeah, it does. Now that you've said that.
But I think the images are roughly the same size.
Yeah. So you could have the butterfly tree coming in from the left and the bird tree coming in from the right.
Yeah.
And then you'd have a medley of wings in the air, wouldn't you? Right, okay. So that one finished?
That's that one done.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about our lovely open days while you're having a little bit of time. I'm going to take my hockey stick back.
Yeah.
If you're looking for somewhere to store your rub-ons, then the Clarity Slowdown box, $9.99. It was so funny on Monday when we were doing this, and Barb went out, oh, we need some storage, and then she came back with a folder, and then, oh, look, we can put a rub-on on this. It really was.
You'll be putting rub-on anything that doesn't move.
Yeah. So I'll leave the rub-on details on the screen. So Clarity Open Day tickets, as I say, this time next week, we will be coming up to 3 o'clock. So I mean, there will be one more hour left. The item number for the Friday is 60207. £10. There's no club discount on that. If you pop it in your basket and you buy it and other stuff in there and it goes over £50, you get double points. If you want to come along on the Saturday, item number 60208, again £10, so that's 9 till 4. And then on the Sunday, we have 2 fantastic workshops going on. One of them is Get Inky, and this is going to be sort of like it's alcohol inks on this one for Sunday. Item number for that is 60209. There's limited spaces left on this. If you want to come on the Linda Williams Groovy Workshop on the Sunday, which takes place in another room within the hall, item number for that is 60210. Again, it is very limited on that one. And but if you're thinking, oh, I don't know, I can't decide till near the time about coming to the open days, you will be able to buy tickets on the door for the open days. So if it's sort of like a last minute, maybe you change your plan, maybe some plans got cancelled and you're thinking, right, I can make it now. It's in Ditton, which is in Maidstone in Kent. It's just off the M20 and lots of free parking.
And if anybody's coming from the Barking Dagenham kind of northeast London area, no, but somebody is looking for a lift. I think it's Eileen. It's on the Clarity Worldwide Facebook page.
Oh, right.
I'm not that far from her. I would have given a lift, but I'm going up Thursday night and I'm not coming home till Saturday.
Yeah.
So I think that was
Oh, that's nice.
a bit too long. But actually, if anybody is travelling up from somewhere around that area, if you check out on the Clarity Facebook page, Eileen is looking for a lift for one day.
Nice.
She doesn't mind which day.
Oh, super. Absolutely. That's
or by
great.
train. She's happy to go by train. She just doesn't want to travel on her own. So.
Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? So those tickets are still available to buy now, but also and don't worry, if you buy it today and we post it out to you either today or on Tuesday, because of the bank holiday, if you haven't received it in time for whichever day you buy, don't worry, because we'll have a list on the door that will know exactly that you bought the ticket, what day you bought it for. So that's not a problem at all. Okay, where are we going next?
Okay, we're going to go to the stencil.
Okie dokie.
Next, in fact, I'll move that. Let me just move that mat out of the way. Thank you. So this is just using the bird tree stencil.
That's lovely.
But it's lovely with a bit of colour.
Yeah.
So I've just added in rainbow colours onto the birds.
Nice.
And then used one of the word sticker stamps, which I haven't used in ages.
Oh yeah. They're the Barb's
these are Barb's sticker
they?
Stamps, yeah. And I found there's one in there that says "Live Life in Colour." That I thought, well, that's perfect.
Perfect. So the item number for those sticker stamps is item number 31147. Normally £19.99. They have a special price of £16.99 plus your club discount.
Okay, so first thing was this that I embossed the stencil into the card.
Okay.
So I was going to say it's easy to do with the kit and caboodle, but now we're going to find out if I can remember how. Basically, you need, you don't need your magnetic sheet. You need a rubber shim. My one at home, I haven't got a rubber shim for my machine at home. So I put several sheets of copy paper underneath it. That acts as well. What it is about having something soft against your stencil card that allows the stencil to then emboss into it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So the pressure of the stencil pushes down into the card.
Yeah.
If you think about what the process is.
So now that you have purchased a kit and caboodle, it does actually come with this lovely rubber mat. So you won't need to worry about using copy paper anymore.
Perfect. So I've literally laid it up like that. Card, stencil on top, then the top plate, and then I'm just running it through.
And we'll see what happens.
What I didn't do was tape it to my card.
Right.
Okay, but I'll do that in a minute because I don't want to move the stencil because I want to put the ink through it.
Okay. Good to know.
Even better to know before you do it.
I suppose because you've got that lovely deep impression in there, I'm guessing
you can
it's
line
like a
it back
groovy
up on
plate.
it. Yeah,
it sort of goes back in.
You can relocate it. But here's one we did earlier when we were practicing. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's fantastic.
This one.
I'm just going to tape this down.
I'll
let you do that.
Look at the detail.
It's lovely.
Of it being embossed. It looks like those really expensive greeting cards that have that embossed detail in.
Yeah, like letterpress type things. Yeah.
And if I turn it round, you've got
a deboss.
You've got the deboss. See, I think that works beautiful as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Obviously the stencils are reversible, so you can use it either way around.
In either direction, yeah.
But I do like embossing stencils because it just makes the design, again, it pops a bit more. It's not as flat.
No.
As it was. Oh, and we did say we'd give this one away.
Okay, right. Deb likes to give away. She likes to share. Okay, so if you'd like to be with a chance of winning one of Deborah's originals, let's see. We need a word for our friends to put in the comments underneath, and then towards the end of the show, we will choose a name and a winner. What do you reckon? Should we keep it simple? Should we go bird or should we go tree?
Tree.
Tree. Okay. So what you need to do is type tree in the comments below, either over on Facebook or on YouTube. And then what we'll do, because all of our chat consolidates into this software that we use, and then we'll scroll back and then we'll randomly scroll all the way through and we will choose a winner. It was the lovely Karen Gilgan won your 3D butterfly.
She did.
In the 10 o'clock show. So, okay, let's have a look what Deb's is up
Okay,
to.
I am masking off the birds from around the tree.
Okay.
Okay, because if you look at this, my tree's black, and then I move into the colour in the birds. So I don't want to get any of the grey in these little bits here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just used low tack tape and covered those up just to protect the area. So I've got my tree isolated here.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go with grey and black. I think I might be getting ready to treat myself to new sponges, don't you think?
Double points.
Looking a bit tired.
Treat yourself for the open days.
So I've got hickory smoke and black soot.
Okay.
For this, just to try and get some depth of colour. I just need to be careful. My hickory smoke pad is quite wet. But anyway, to start with, I'm just going to lightly dab it down.
Like an undercoat.
Yeah. I'd say be a bit careful with this stencil. This little bit here is mobile.
Right.
Because it's only fixed at this end here.
Oh, I see.
None of this attached. If you start smearing like that, you can move it.
Okay.
So I'd...
Better to pounce.
Pounce, dab over it. Cool, time ticks on, doesn't it?
It sure does. But what a way to spend some time crafting.
Absolutely. And then you can see if I go back over here and just start to smear and drag it a bit, it darkens the colour.
Yes. So I suppose the pouncing, once you've sort of pounced off of the stencil to remove some of the ink, because as you say, you know your ink pad's quite wet.
Yeah.
So you knew that if you'd gone straight into your artwork, you would have got patches.
Yes.
And then by drawing it off of the stencil in a sweeping motion, it then sharpens up those edges, doesn't it?
It does. And then I'm going to add a bit of black around it. Again, it's just for that shadow.
Yeah.
If you think about the techniques, if you've done the landscape course with Barbara, just think about those techniques that she was teaching about, you know, shadow and using your different colours and where to put shade. I'll leave the middle of the tree a bit lighter. Let's put a bit around that bit just to make sure it's
nice pouncing.
Oh, thank you. Okay, that's cool.
So that's your tree done.
That's my tree done.
Okay.
So now I'm going to attempt to get this low tack tape off my stencil. Talk among yourselves for a minute.
Okay. So whilst Debs is removing the low tack tape that she really likes, and no doubt she'll be adding to her shopping basket when we finish this show. So it's spot on sponges you're going for. You want some more low tack tape. So if you want 4 rolls, because Debs does like to use it a lot, item number 31212. If you just want 1 roll, then item number for that is 31211. What else can I tempt you with, Debs? What else? So you need some new spot on sponges. You need some new low tack tape.
I've just bought a kit and caboodle.
Yeah, but you need your consumables now. Once you've got your kit and caboodle, that's it. You haven't got to buy it again, have you?
It's true. Right, back to the demo.
Back to the demo.
Now he's finished nagging at me. What I'm going to do actually is clean this black and grey ink off here.
Okay.
Okay. Because I've hinged it on, I can open it up and clean my stencil.
Ah, right. Okay.
So, and all I've done is spritz some water onto a kitchen bit of paper towel. Okay, I'm just going to wipe the worst of it off because I don't want to contaminate.
Oh, because you got those tiny little birds.
Because they're really little.
And I did wonder why you was doing that because I thought we'd just clean it all afterwards. But yes, I forgot you've got those little birds.
I'm coming in here and I don't want to pick up the grey off there.
Off there.
But it's really easy, just with a bit of damp kitchen towel, and then because I've hinged it, fold it back in and it drops back into place. Okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Right, I've gone for a rainbow.
Okay.
You know how to remember your rainbow colours?
Red and yellow and pink and green.
No,
purple.
it's not got
Richard
pink.
of York gave battle in vain.
That's it.
Yes.
Red, orange, yellow. Richard of York gave green, battle in vain. Blue, indigo, violet.
go. See,
there we go.
every day's a school day.
Yeah.
So I
haven't
have
heard
here
that for a while.
half a significant part of my ink stash.
Goodness me.
My mustard seed is a distress ink.
Okay.
Because I had a problem with my oxide. I think there was ages ago. I think it was a faulty batch, and it went all waxy on top. But again, it doesn't matter. You can, for this purpose, you can mix oxides and inks.
Yeah.
You can use only oxides. You can use only inks. You can use any water-based, dye-based ink. Okay. But I'm going to sponge them, and I'm going to think through. So I'm starting at the bottom of the rainbow here and working upwards.
Okay.
What's the plan, any mode? So we'll just pick a few birds at a time. Go for it. So I'll start violet with this little ones down here. I'm going to have multicolored card by the time I finish. And I'm pouncing. I'm kind of pouncing and twisting.
Pouncing, squidging, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're only little and you want to get through the stencils. Some of the areas are very fine. I'm going to talk about them in a minute, about a trick if you don't get right through. Right, let's have... so that was wilted violet. Blue, I'm using chipped sapphire. And I'm only doing 2 or 3 birds at a time, so you get the rainbow effect. Pull you in there. This one's a bit tricky because he's got a very narrow wing. There's a way around that. Maybe that bit down there as well. Okay, then on to Blueprint Sketch, which is a brighter blue. Hang on, let me tidy up as I go along, otherwise I'll be working.
Tidy up whilst crafting.
I know. Radical.
Goodness me.
Blueprint Sketch is lovely bright blue. Love this one. And I'm going in here on these little bits. I'm trying not to get it all over the ones above. It doesn't matter if you catch your tree, she says. Well, it doesn't now, anyway.
Well, I suppose it's the colour is flooding from the tree out into the sky, isn't it?
They burst out into colour.
Yes.
Mowed lawn.
Lovely green.
Love this. It's such a vibrant, bright green. Let's have you up here.
So you can check out the show page where all those colours.
I've listed all the colours.
Yeah, that Debs is using is in that page. Or if you've downloaded the demo, they're listed on there as well.
But you could do this so it's like an ombre.
Yeah.
So you could start with, I don't know, say the blue, and start with darker blues by the tree and work out to paler ones. There are quite a lot of blue ink tones available.
Yeah.
So, right, let's go with mustard seed. I'll be there in a minute.
I mean, at the moment, it just looks like a stencil with colour on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I always love when Barb's doing it and the stencil lifts up and it's that reveal. And because some of these birds are so small.
I'm sorry, some of these inks are sold out actually on our website. I went in and had to look at lunchtime.
Terrible.
Right, let's do him in orange, half pumpkin, and then a last one in red. It's quite fun doing this. Then you don't have to make choices about what colour ink you're going to use. Just use them all. Use them all.
And I suppose also then you can pick all those different colours for your matting and layering.
Exactly.
You? So you could go for yellow, you could go for the red, you can go for orange, green.
Depends which colour you want to highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, it looks a bit of a holy mess at the moment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
It does. But
if we peel that off,
look at that.
I've got multicoloured birds.
I'm going to zoom in on that one. Look at that. And because it's embossed, the camera's actually picking up.
There's a bit more depth to it.
It's like a shadow, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the light's catching it.
Actually, I didn't do this before I took the stencil off, but this one particularly is very fine in the wing, and it looks like it's got a bit of a gap.
It's the way the light's catching him.
You could grab a pergoliner.
Ah. Did you do that on your finished piece?
Yeah.
Didn't notice that.
And can you see, am I in the right
No,
place?
you're
Yeah.
fine, yeah.
And let's just gently, because it's raised, you can just
Yes.
catch the edge of it.
So you're like tickling the top of the card
Exactly.
with the
I'm
pencil.
just touching it up. Stroke it in.
There you go.
If I want to stroke
none
his
the
tail
wiser.
out a bit more on this one, I can just do that as well here. You can do it with the stencil still in place, actually. If you get a really sharp point on your pencil, you can get in through the stencil lines.
That's lovely.
That one's a bit he's missing part of his wing. Oh, sorry, got my lid in the way. My well-loved pergoliners.
The pergoliners, item number 70063. Sad that I know some of these numbers without even looking them up.
That's better. Look, he's got colour in his wing now. So you can just shade it in.
Yeah.
As I say, you can do it with the stencil still in place. He's missing his tail. So better rectify that. He's not going to get very far without a tail, is he? Better.
That's so lovely, isn't it? I think it is the contrast between the sort of like the darkness of the tree and then the light
bursting out into colour.
Yeah.
While I'm here, let's stamp the sentiment in.
Okay.
So I went with Live Life in Colour, which is
from
one.
those Barbara's sticker word stamps.
Yes.
And there is a £3 saving on those.
Oh, that's good.
The item number is item number 31147. Normally £19.99, special price of £16.99.
So I'm going to do them in the blueprint sketch.
Yeah.
And I'll sponge it on.
Okay.
Well, I'll dab it on to start with to get some good coverage. This is another ink pad of mine that's quite wet as well. But then I'll
you get to know your ink pads, don't
distribute
you?
it. Yeah. And it's funny how some colours seem wetter than juicier than others.
Maybe it is like a pigment thing. I don't know.
Or production. Yeah. I don't know. Right. Let's just make sure that's evenly distributed. These are great. I haven't used these stamps enough actually.
No, I love it. So they're like
really
the
good
sticker
for
word stickers, aren't they?
Yeah.
But you can change the colour of them.
But you can get them in colour. Right, let's stick that under the tree there. Bingo.
Nice. Zoom in on that one. It's very pretty, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Yeah.
So then I simply trimmed it down. Now, there's a trick to this because I want it at 5 1/4.
Okay.
Because I've already cut my Shenandoah amount to fit.
Yeah.
If you've got a die, dies work well, and you can just put a nested
squares.
die around and you can see exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
But if not, my advice for something like this is I know I want the birds to be in a space. I don't want them right on the edge of the card. I don't mind if the tree's on the edge of the card.
I get that.
So I'm going to cut these two edges first. So I've got the birds in the right place, and then I can measure it in from here because it doesn't matter if I lose a bit of the tree.
Right.
I didn't do that on the very first time I did this. And I had, let's not say.
He was flying out of the page.
He was just a bit challenged
in
terms of airspace.
I mean, this is a lovely collection with the stamps and the stencils and how they can work individually, but also together. So the item number for this collection is 11036. So you do have that £10 saving on it. And the stencils are £5.99 each. That's £12. So you're virtually getting the stencils for free.
Yeah.
And if you're a Diamond Club member, that brings it down to what?
What?
I had to double. I thought, surely I'm looking at the wrong way.
Not.
£22.92. I had to double check and I put the figures in because £26.96 plus 15% discount is £22.92, which is madness. Yeah, I'm just double checking that I'm looking at the right line. Yeah, I am. Goodness me.
So I've already cut myself a mount of Shenandoah paper.
Yeah.
So we'll just sit that on there, and then it just sat neatly on a 7x7 card. Now I embossed used an embedder to emboss a frame.
Which we looked at during the 10 o'clock show,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah. So just a nice large one. Top tip, for locating the embedder is the base of your stamp pen or
any Pergamano tool.
Or any Pergamano tool, because they've got this lovely angled edge, and you can drop it down on the side and then
bring it
butt
in.
up a side and then go in up and down.
Excellent.
Which is really makes it easier for getting just that initial sharper edge.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Super duper. Right. Do you want
so that one's on the giveaway?
That one's the giveaway. Yep. Well, take that to one side then.
Yep, thank you.
There we go.
I'll
put that there.
Stick it together before we finish.
Month Deb was here. She said, "Oh, I do a giveaway," and then I went, "Yeah, that's great." And you did it at ATC, didn't you?
I did.
And then about 2 days later, she emailed me and said, "I've just found the giveaway. I'd completely forgotten that you was doing it."
We get so busy clearing up after the show and sorting everything out, and they're starting to talk about next month. That I just packed it all away with everything.
So I'm going to keep hold of this.
You hang on to that, but I'll stick it together before we're done.
Okay.
Before we go.
Right.
Right. Okay. If you give me a minute, I'll clear this lot out of the way.
Double points for the bank holiday weekend. Any baskets over £50 between 6 o'clock on Thursday evening, just gone, which was the 22nd, up until midnight on Tuesday. So that's Monday the 27th. You'll get Tuesday. Yes,
the 27th.
That's what I meant. Tuesday. It says Tuesday on the screen, but
I'm just proving I'm listening.
Good. I'm glad you are. You'll get double points on any orders where your basket and your checkout is over £50. Now, it does cover if you're buying any of our online workshops, or if you're buying tickets for any of our summer events or the workshops on Sunday. Mentioned earlier that there's literally it's limited spaces on the Sunday workshops with Barb and Linda. I've seen both projects, what's being done on those. An email will go out to those attending probably Tuesday or Wednesday on that, just with some basic housekeeping. You don't need to bring anything, but if you maybe coming for the first time, then it just gives you a little bit of an explanation. They will both start at 9 o'clock and finish roughly around 4 o'clock on the Sunday. So are we good to go on this?
Yep. I think let's do it. Yeah.
Right. Let's come back to this screen.
Okay. So a blended panel on this one.
I like that.
But I didn't blend it all the way down, so I left it kind of fading.
Yeah.
Out. Yeah.
It's like misty at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
but
nice.
it's quite a nice effect.
Yeah.
I'll explain the birds in a minute.
Okay.
So I did a whole blended piece this morning, just blending 3 inks together. This one, I'm just doing a partial panel.
Okay.
So low tack tape. And then I'm a simple stamper at heart, so then just simply stamp over it.
It's something I think it's nice because you've got those, as you say, those butterflies flying into it. If you've gone for the bird tree, they'd be coming in from that direction,
that side,
wouldn't they?
Yeah. So if you wanted to do that one, I would put my panel over this side.
Yes.
Like down here, and my sentiment there. So my bird trees were on it and flying. So my birds were flying across the panel.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, right. Let's have a go. Let me find my piece of card. Always a useful start.
Okay, piece of card, and then low tack tape. Low tack tape again.
Okay, so I'm going to mask an edge here, probably about half the width of the tape.
Okay.
Try and make sure it's straight as well. Always a bonus. And then I'm going to come down here. What I'll do actually is just pop that on there just so I can get an idea of where I want to come. Actually, I might want that a bit wider because I think it's quite nice to have the tree kind of sitting on the edge of the panel. You don't have to. It's just about lining up your proportions and thinking about your
I think panel work is very nice, isn't it? It can sort of add some drama to your finished piece.
Where am I going? Somewhere about here. Okay, that'll do. Don't have to be exact. Okay, right, let's see if that works.
So you're going to go for some ink pads?
I do want some ink pads. What ink pads do I want? Bear with.
Okay.
They're in this morning's boxes.
It's later in the day now,
isn't it? Oh, right, that one. Bear with, I want one out of this morning's box.
Okay. Right, okay.
Sorry.
Oh, it's been a long day, hasn't it? I said, what was the traffic like? Because it was lovely and sunny. Oh, coming over the Dartford crossing, so it was like 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Then coming through Westrum, so it was like crawling.
Solid.
But still managed to stop and get you Greg's breakfast.
Of course I did. Priorities, you know.
That's the only reason you come, isn't it? Because of Greg's.
Yeah, I get my Greg's breakfast.
At the end of the road. Oh, okay.
Actually, what I did do at home, I'll do it with this bit of copy paper. I masked off the rest of this panel under the tape just to protect it. I often stick Post-it notes over it, but you just stick a piece of copy paper under the edge of your masking tape. Then you know you're not going to get ink in this bit that you want to keep.
And if you do, it's protected, isn't it?
Exactly. If you go on there, you're on the copy paper.
Super.
Right. Okay. I now have my 3 inks.
Super. Saltwater
taffy, evergreen bough, which is going at the bottom, bundled sage in the middle. I thought it was a different colour combination. I've realised it's very similar to the combination I used on this morning.
Yeah.
But hey.
It doesn't matter, does it?
What it is.
It just shows that the colours can work in the different...
They work.
Worked lovely on the butterflies this morning.
Okay. I'm going to do the same principle as I did this morning.
Yeah.
With the 3. But let me start at the top. I'm going to blend sideways, side to side.
Right.
Sideways. Rather than up and down.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got more control over how far down I come that way.
Yeah.
Let's get a good saturation going on it. Obviously, the more you do it, the more colour you build up. Ooh.
So with the colour, I mean, you're using oxides.
Yes.
I mean,
inks work perfectly.
I know you've got oxides, you've got the distress, etc., etc. If you really wanted to get the intense step, would you sort of like do a layer and then let it dry a little bit?
Go back in again.
So
yeah. You could do that. Right, this is the evergreen bough, which is coming down the bottom.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come down here, but I don't want to go all the way down.
Oh, because you want that graduation.
Yeah. So I am just going to stroke it downwards a bit.
Yeah.
So to speak. Could do this just with 2 and actually blend the 2 over each other in the middle. Should we do that? We'll see what it looks like. Yeah, go on, let's do that. So I'll take the evergreen bough up further and then I'm going to come back down over it with the saltwater taffy.
Okay.
Because that will give me the 3rd colour in the middle. It's all choices, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just...
Sometimes, and it's a piece of card, isn't it? So if you find that you've gone on too heavy or too dark, or the colours don't seem to sort of gel well together, or you don't think that they gel well, then you can always chop it up and use it for little tags.
Yeah. Or if it's really bad, just use it as a mount behind your card just to lift your card off a bit. Look, oh, that's rather nice. I'll just put a bit more green across this middle bit to blend it into the pink. Oh, that's rather nice.
I said it would be a good idea, didn't I?
All down to you, Paul.
Of course it is.
Good job you're here.
Yeah.
There we go. That'll do. So I haven't used the bundled sage on that one. I've just blended the 2 colours together.
That's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, it just does look like an inky mess, doesn't it?
It's
when it becomes the reveal.
Which, shall we do that?
Yeah, go on, let's do the reveal. Look how white that card is.
It really makes the card pop. Oh, Lord, I've got a cat hair. Must have been in the box. There we go. So, yeah, actually, that gives a lovely ombre effect of the colours blending.
Yeah.
But just by using the two, not by putting the lighter green in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, let's right, let's crack on. So when I stamped the large butterfly this morning, I used the 2 inks. I'm going to do the same again. So archival down first, but it's harder to get that real intense black saturation with archival unless you've got a really new ink pad that's really juicy.
Juicy, yeah.
This one's been going for about 6 months, getting on for 6 months now.
I'm sure you do quite a bit of stamping, don't you, Deb?
Oh, sometimes, yeah. Rumour has it.
Cards on the blog every day.
Yeah, but lots of those. I mean, I'll make a batch of design team cards and then I just feed them out one at a time.
But
Sarah does the same.
Though, isn't it?
Sarah does the same.
Looking forward to seeing Sarah next week.
It'll be lovely.
Doing the make and take at the open day. She's doing the Stampy make and take.
She is, and she's using the builder wreath as well.
She is indeed.
So we've been swapping pictures to make sure we don't both do the same thing.
Yeah, so I forgot we have not forgot. At the open days, we have our make and take. So there's a stamping one with the lovely Sarah Brennan. Then we have the lovely Hazel Edwards. She's doing a groovy make and take. You've got Glynis in the Snip Clinic. So if you're looking to improve or perfect your picot cutting, Glynis is on hand for that. Then demonstration wise, we have the lovely Linda on groovy. We have the lovely Louise on groovy. We have Jane on our brand new rub-on transfers.
Yeah,
groovy.
See how she uses those.
And stamping. So to show how they can work in so many different ways. There we have the lovely Sam Crow, who will be joined by the lovely Deborah Wheeler. And we also have Janice Phillips joining us as well with her timestamp creations. Launching 2 brand new designs at the open day. Barb will be there with her pottery, and Hilma, Barb's mum, she'll be there selling her dingly dangles. I'll be demonstrating something brand new for Clarity as well. Then we have the lovely, that's nice. Then we have the lovely Gracie and Lisa on the tills. Jazz and her mum in the kitchen, providing refreshments, so fresh sandwiches, hot and cold drinks. We've got Jilly walking around helping everybody. I think that's everybody.
I think so, yeah.
Sheila and Sue on the front door. So Sheila is Brother Steve's wife.
Yeah.
So Barbara's sister-in-law. And lovely Sue that many of you speak to on the phone.
Clarity Sue.
Clarity Sue. She'll be there taking your tickets and helping if you've got any queries. So yeah, it's great 2 days out.
Okay, so my tree, as you saw, I inked up archival down first, then I went over it with the VersaFine Claire, which is juicier, takes a bit longer to dry, so it gets you that more intense black solid, particularly if you're on a solid stamp. I've got it's a bit lighter down here, but actually it doesn't matter. No, it just adds depth to the tree. Yeah, at least that's what I tell myself.
Yes, I agree with you.
So I'm using another one of the quote stamps. This is set 1. One day at a time. The original first. Yeah, love these. 1 day at a time. So I clean and dry stamp, laid it down on my card. Yeah. And then I've used the mega mount, the etchings. I think the overhead camera's at a very slight angle, so it doesn't quite look it, but it is this etching here
is on the edge of the
card, so I can go straight back down with it when I ink it up.
Okay.
I'll just do it quickly in VersaFine.
Can't believe where time's gone again.
I know, flies, doesn't it?
Flies, just like those butterflies.
Just like flying out of the tree.
Yeah.
Okay, which means all I need to do is straight back down. Line the mount. I don't need to worry about looking at the stamp and trying to position the stamp. I know it's in the right place if I get the lines on the stamp. So you're using on the
sort of like the
I'm using the mount to position it.
Yeah, stamp positioner.
Yeah. Bingo.
Nice.
That's it.
And they've got that grungy look to them, haven't they?
Lovely.
That isn't Deb's worrying about her stamping, because she often says, "Oh, I've missed a bit." It is the way in which the stamps have been, because it's been taken from an old woodblock print font.
They're fantastic. I love them.
So yeah, it gives it that real authentic look to it, doesn't it?
it's such a nice style rather than it being kind of hard and solid. So all I did on this one then was edge it with a black Sharpie.
Yeah.
And then just popped it straight on a 6x6 card.
Nice.
Now, I said I'd talk about the birds.
Yes.
I got a smudge.
Got a smudge.
I actually got 2 smudges.
Let's have a look at the smudges.
See if we can find them. So I clearly managed to get some of the black ink on my fingers without realising. And then as I was handling the card, is that focused in?
It's because the cream card's behind it. The cream paper's behind it.
Shall I move that out?
Okay.
Oh, yes. There's a little one here that I managed to get the sentiment over.
Right.
I said tips and tricks, didn't
Yeah.
I? And you can just see behind the birds, it looks like a bit of a cloud.
Really?
So these are the little birds from the Just Woodland and Bird set. I was like, normally, what do crafters do? We bang a butterfly on something. It's a mistake. I'm like, I've got a tree full of butterflies here. What can I do? And I remembered the little birds. So they've got 3 little birds in the sky flying off.
Nice. As if it was meant to be there. I thought you'd drawn them in with a micron pen.
No, that's a little stamp.
Ah, nice.
So I just went over it to disguise my smudge.
There you go. Well, we wouldn't have noticed there was a smudge unless you'd pointed it out.
But how often do you get a smudge on your card? What do you do? Done all that work. You don't want to be.
I would have just.
We all go, oh, it's only a piece of card, but actually, you've done all that work. You've kind of the very last knock-in. So yeah, that's the story of the birds.
Top tips from Deborah: get rid of your smudges. Put some birds on them. Right, we need to choose a winner.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just pop into the chat.
I hope somebody's put their name in the chat.
I hope anyone's still watching.
They've just gone, blimey, they're still going.
I'm gonna zoom back. Right, okay. I need to get my glasses
Have you got
out.
it?
Yeah.
You found it? Okay, right.
I'm going to turn around.
You turn away and I'll
scroll
count.
Down.
And let's go 3, 2, 1, stop.
Stop. Okay. And the winner is, I can't see. Debbie Goffard.
Oh,
congratulations,
brilliant.
Debbie.
Well done, Debbie.
So thank you for taking part, and thank you for. I hope you're still in the room. If not, it'll be a nice surprise when it turns up.
Through the door.
So thank you very much for joining us. It's Friday afternoon, just approaching 3:30. Bank holiday weekend. Don't forget we have that fantastic promotion running. Kicked off at 6 o'clock last night, up until midnight on Tuesday. And it's double points on all baskets over £50. What else we got coming up? So because it's bank, so there's no Shack on Monday or Clarity Social TV on Monday because it's bank holiday.
Yeah.
Tuesday we will be back with you. Louise will be in at 10 o'clock for Groovy Tuesday. Then we'll have an hour with you at 2 o'clock, and then straight after that, Barb is on Hobby Maker at 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So I hope you can join and support Barb over on Hobby Maker. Then after that, it's all system goes for the open day. It's all systems go.
It is.
I was thinking so Tuesday at 2 is the last Clarity Social TV, Hobby Maker at 3, and then at 6. Then Thursday, we're off to set up for the open days.
We'll all be down in the hall.
And then Friday and Saturday are the fantastic.
Open the doors.
I'm really looking forward to those. Yeah. And then those workshops on Sunday. And then it'll be back in the Shack on Monday at 10 and Clarity Social TV at 2 if we're not too wiped out. So we don't get wiped out.
No. I'll be in Devon by then.
Very nice. Not listening. Thank you as always to the lovely Gracie for helping out. And don't forget, if you've got any questions on our Facebook pages, Clarity Worldwide, Groovy Worldwide, there's always someone there to help you. So enjoy the rest of the day and your weekend. And hopefully we'll see you next Friday and Saturday.
That would be lovely.
Because that's when you'll be with us again next week.
I will. And it's always so great to put faces to names.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
It's always good.
So thank you as always, lovely Deborah.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks everybody for sticking with it. Sorry for the overrun again.
Very, very soon.